So you clicked on this video to see a unholy demon girl. Well, this is a wholesome story. Or is it? This manga is called Devilchi. The main character is called Yomina Succubus. She's a quiet demon girl, along with Fuyuki Hino, the horny, dense male protagonist. He's just a human, Emi Aikawa. And of course, we need a big-chested mom. This character doesn't matter. We're at Fuyuki's school, and he's reading a manga. Wait, is that Truck-kun's Revenge on Tokyo? And on the back, very suspicious stuff. Emi walks in. Damn. Anyway, Emi was disappointed. Couldn't believe he was getting all focused over a magazine, but doesn't blame him since all teenage boys are hormonal children. Fuyuki says it was a coincidence that the page was open when she looked, but Emi isn't buying his shenanigans. Tsuyoshi joins the conversation. She says it's a misunderstanding, defending him until she says it's because he likes children. Fuyuki says he's never liked little children like that. Tsuyoshi wasn't aware of the context in which he said it, implying he looks after his siblings every now and then. Fuyuki then goes back to reading his yellow YouTube magazine again. Emi asks for her book that he borrowed, but forgot it at home and apologized, and Emi was losing her shit. Fuyuki says he'll talk to the teacher about it. Unaware of his surroundings, he bumps into someone. It was a girl. She said it's fine and asks if his finger is okay. He tells her not to worry about it because he's trying to impress the edgy emo chick. I mean, who wouldn't? Emi says. Jesus, that shirt is holding on for dear life. Some students noticed that Fuyuki was talking to Succubus. They were surprised because she never really talks to anybody. He got ignored when trying to speak to her. Then the boys started rating her looks, intelligence, and she was also good at sports. All three of them were talking about how they wanted to get into her succubus. Date her, talk to her, mostly have a clapping session with her. Luckily, Succubus prevented this from becoming a three-way hentai. You may be thinking, well, Succubus may just be ignoring boys, right? No, she ignores girls as well. But this simp just finds it attractive. Fuyuki's finger felt like it was burning for a second. They started their lesson. Fuyuki already lost his attention from the class and thought about what those boys were talking about. He tries not to overthink it and lays his head onto the table, drowsing off. He has a dream of a mysterious black-haired girl. She's asking him to make a promise, but wakes up to nobody in the classroom. Looking out the window, he sees his classmates outside in their next class, realizing nobody woke him up when class ended, which is very strange. He hurries to go to the changing rooms. Busting into the changing room, we walk into YouTube age, restricting my channel. Peeking through the room, we get a nice shot of Succubus' cheeks. Unfortunately, blurred for you. But on a scale of 1 to 10, I rate them a 7. Fuyuki apologized to her. Even though his school reputation is never coming back from this, Succubus asks if he saw it. She means her wings. He said he did and thought to himself that she was cosplaying. Fuyuki asks her to forgive him. Succubus speaking in riddles and finally says she's a demon. He thinks it's a joke, until she shoots some demon cum across the room, penetrating a section of the wall. Fuyuki is confused at Succubus' ineffective shadow blast. She begins yapping about her powers and says she'll shoot again if he carries on being an idiot. Fuyuki sits there thinking to himself about the situation, but is struggling to take this information in. She walks up to him. Succubus lifts her hand up and grabs a hold of his hand. Fuyuki looked confused. She's feeling him up right now. This is the most female contact he's gotten since his mother used to breastfeed him. Succubus apologizes for her yandere behavior. She says she just wants to live a normal human life with other people and asks him to keep it a secret. Fuyuki explained he thought they were for a cosplay, so there was no need for her to use her magic. Succubus flustered. Makes me think one of those 3 things those boys said earlier wasn't true. She says it was a joke, and she's a human, but she drops to the floor and sits there, embarrassed. Fuyuki just stares at her while she's on the floor, thinking about her life choices. He thought that demons would have looked a lot different from a human. He gets curious and asks her what type of demon she is. Succubus tells him she's a succubus, which makes all sorts of horny thoughts go down in his mind, which prompts this fan service page. Succubus sees him blushing and shouts at him to stop thinking perverted things. Succubus says she's decided she isn't going to do that sort of stuff with her life. Seriously, this guy is so horny, he can't hold back. To be honest, I'm happy about her decision. We have another wholesome character to add to our list. She tells him she's half human and half demon, so she doesn't really have basic demon abilities, the ones she knows she isn't really good at. Using basic magic causes her face to get hot. She looks up at him confused, thinking that Succubus is an airhead. Fuyuki is surprised at it. Succubus asks what kind of image he had of her. He thought that she was unfriendly and scary. He says now his opinion of her has changed. Fuyuki says he prefers her when she's expressing her emotions more. Damn. His finger feels hot again. Succubus asks him what's wrong, and he shows her his finger, which has a weird marking on it now. He says it's a bruise from a long time ago, but now it looks like he was initiated into a gang or something. She looked like she was about to cry. Fuyuki apologized to her for showing her something unpleasant. Succubus recognizes the mark and asks in the most cliché way possible to make another promise with her. Fuyuki felt a destructive atmosphere from somewhere. Don't ask me how it works, just go along with it. Fuyuki didn't understand what she meant, and I thought she meant a promise, since that's what it means in Japanese. But a word in Japanese could have more than one meaning, so chigiri now apparently means a promise, destiny, karma, or demonetization. I don't know if it's me or the translation now. She gets flustered. Fuyuki asks if it means something perverted, and she goes even more red. She tells him it doesn't mean that, even though the search results say otherwise. She finally utters out the words it means, "Would you like to be friends?" And he agrees to it, still challenging my one living brain cell. Because Succubus is a demon, she isolated herself from other people. Fuyuki asks her if she wants to make friends, but in order to hide who she was, she had to stay away from everyone. He keeps talking while Succubus is trying to tell him that isn't the reason. She tells him it was to keep her identity a secret, but also because she is shy and couldn't get along with everyone. Ever since she was little, she was introverted. Fuyuki noticed that she was fine talking to him. Fuyuki offers her his help to make friends with everyone, and Emi enters the room. He's excited to see her, but she isn't excited to see him in the girls' changing room. And it was from this moment onwards his school reputation was ruined. He had a giant hand mark on his face from the slap that Emi gave him. She shouts at him, saying he deserved it. Emi and whoever this is again are leaving. She tells him to reflect on his actions. Emi asks him what's with the hole in the wall, and Fuyuki says he doesn't know, which leads to them arguing. Succubus notices this and gets up to sort out the situation. We end up in a flashback to her past. There is a group of girls talking about her. Apparently, a girl was near Succubus and the girl collapsed. Succubus gets up to try and offer the group of girls flowers and asks the girls to play with her. She rejects and leaves. They looked at her, horrified, and ran away from her. I'm sorry she's going up on my tier list because I feel bad. Back to the present. Succubus says never mind. Emi asks her what's wrong. Succubus explained what happened to her with all her confidence, surprised that Succubus actually spoke to her. She gets embarrassed again and Emi apologizes. Emi asks her what's with the weird hole, and Succubus says it was her and wasn't Fuyuki, which is surprising since his motto is, if there's a hole, there's a goal, which makes Emi laugh. Fuyuki notices that she tried to save him from the situation and appreciates it. Emi asks if Fuyuki did anything to her. Succubus struggles to get the words out of her mouth when she remembers that he saw her half naked. Emi grabs him by the neck and chokes him. I wish that could be me, but some dreams just won't come true. Succubus smiles at them, finally opening up a little. What in the all-spark block-smart pickles I found in your Nan's shopping cart are those? Those buttons on that cardigan look like they are holding it together like Bully Maguire from Spider-Man. Anyway, she shows off her fashion to her friends. Emi turns around and sees Succubus and greets her, showing off her cardigan that she got from Balenciaga. She gives a cold look and contradicting answer and walks away, returning to her usual self. She's outside the school by herself, eating food. Fuyuki walks up to her and asks what's wrong, since she has the yandere face again. He thought her anti-socialness would have gotten better. She says she needs a reason to talk to other people. He doesn't know what to do or say to her. He can't help her if she won't talk about her past. Fuyuki calls Succubus and tells her she has food around her mouth, making her extremely embarrassed. He gives her advice to speak to everyone else like she speaks to him. Fuyuki walks into the classroom and compliments Emi's cardigan, but Emi is already onto him and asks why he's suddenly saying that. She says it feels disgusting. He tells her he said it from the bottom of his heart. We know that's not the reason, it was only to butter her up. Fuyuki says she's probably the only girl in the school who has a good fashion sense, and she gives the most disgusted look I've ever seen. Emi tells Fuyuki to stop bothering Succubus, and he defends himself. Emi is jealous of them being pretty close to each other, which this gremlin tells Fuyuki. She asks Succubus to get closer to her instead of him. She says if she's fine with him, Emi interrupts and hugs her. They're now friends, a very wholesome moment in the manga. Emi starts rapping faster than Pac God about all the things they should do after school. A girl asks her to reconsider it. Emi turns over and the girl says she probably shouldn't get too close to to Succubus. She asks why, but she doesn't know about the things that happened in their previous school. Class started, and Fuyuki wondered what they meant by not getting too close to her. They leave the classroom to go to the bathroom and skip class. Fuyuki asked them if he could talk to them about something, so they go to the end of the stairs. He wanted to hear the rest of what they were going to say. The girl, in a dark tone, says they aren't childhood friends. Everyone in junior high all hated her. It's because everyone in junior high knew that she was a demon. Thank you everybody for watching. This at the end of chapter 3, in case you want to read this yourself. If you'd like a part 2, like the video, or tell me in the comments. Thank you for 1,000 subscribers. I didn't know I could build a community this fast. It's unbelievable, and seeing that number go up puts a smile on my face. I'm going to finally get some sleep.
地球の終わり。